What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ask Alex Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Ask Alex Show. We have so much fun every time you guys come back and keep watching us. I could not do this show without my co-host, Mr. Jeremy Branch. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
What's up, man? I'm good. I've been working for the last couple of days diligently trying to get my computer up to snuff. I don't know if you noticed this, Alex, but for the past several streams that I've done, whether it be Saturday morning or Thursday night, I've been having some major latency issues where
I did see that, yeah.
I keep freezing up in the derp face. Like it never freezes at the good opportunity. So you'll be sitting there talking, then all of a sudden,
Yep.
and it's stuck like that for
talking.
2 seconds. Yeah. So I've been working the kinks out on that. It looks like I've made some major improvements. So starting on Thursday, I think the stream's going to be back up and running. So I'm glad you asked so that I could tell you about all of that.
Awesome. And Ian couldn't be with us again today, but I promise you guys next time we'll try to get him back on the show. Fun fact, he did put out a really funny video of, I guess, him manscaping in a sense.
What?
It's not manscaping. It's him using wax and Tati's helping him. It's not on YouTube. It's on his Facebook page.
Oh, hell. All right. Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for that one.
I thought it was funny. I didn't know where it was going to go, though. I'm not going to lie. I did not know where it was going to go, but I'm glad it was just a safe video, and I see why he put it on Facebook and not YouTube. But if this is your very first time watching any of our videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit that bell right next to it. That way you get all the notifications of every time releasing a video here on my YouTube channel. And guys, do me a huge favor. Hit that. I'll go to my Patreon page and you can see what we have on our Patreon page. We have 3 tiers on there. Your support helps us support everything we got going on the channel. And if you want your topic or question on the show, you guys know what to do. Just send me an email at theaskalexshow@gmail.com. That's the theaskalexshow@gmail.com. We have some very interesting topics for today's show, so I can't wait to dive into them. And fun fact, Miss Iris People, she has the first topic. She just sent me this topic like maybe 10 minutes before we started the show, and I didn't realize it, so I did my research. So this is going to be a very good topic to start off the show. And she writes, "Hey guys, so DC Fandom has announced their lineup for their online event. What movies are you excited to see new footage at this event?" Well, thank you for your question, Iris. What Iris is referring to literally today within the last actually 30, maybe 45 minutes. DC Fandom has announced their online event for October 16th, and they're debuting a lot of new footage. Now, it's only one day. I remember last year, it was divided into 2 parts. Really, one part. The second part was more so a lot of TV and comic book announcements. Not a lot of people really tuned in for the second part, but that first part was all the major announcements. We got like the Batman, we got the Suicide Squad with James Gunn, we got all these different things. But this one, they're announcing a really good lineup. We're apparently going to get more footage from the Batman, apparently going to get footage from the Flash. We're apparently going to get footage from Black Adam, and we're going to get footage from the Suicide Squad gang, Crypto the Super Dog, that, and a lot of other different properties within the DC Fandom. Now, I enjoyed DC Fandom last year. I believe Jeremy did a live streaming the event and also giving his commentary. I was a part of that. Ian was a part of that, I believe, and other content creators who came in were a part of that as well. And it was just a fun event. I think DC Fandom should be a yearly thing every year. It was something to create or something to enjoy while a lot of us were at home and just enduring this pandemic that we're still currently in, unfortunately. But if I had to say what my favorite thing that I'm excited for, it would have to be the Batman, because the Batman was the best thing out of everything that came out of last year's DC Fandom. And I heard that at CinemaCon, a lot of the footage that they showed, and it wasn't a lot of footage, but the footage they did show was very intriguing in comparison to the first trailer that came out last year. So I'm interested to see really what the Batman has got going on. I kind of want to see Black Adam too. I still don't believe the movie was made at all, but I will believe it when I see some footage, but I kind of want to see where they're gonna take that character. The Flash, to be honest with you, I'm willing to see what Michael Keaton is willing to do, is going to do in this movie. What if they do decide footage, if do decide to show footage of him in that at the event? But there are a lot of other things there that they're showing that I'm interested to see. As far as the gaming side, I definitely want to see that live Suicide Squad game, and also Gotham Knights. That's a game that was supposed to come out this year that I hope still could come out this year that I still want to buy. But other than that, those are my top picks. Jeremy, did you see this lineup? And if you did, what movie or anything in the lineup are you excited for?
So first, to speak to last year's Fandome event, I think you mentioned a couple of the things that were key. This was like the first hype, I guess, online event that I did during quarantine. It was like everybody gets excited about New York Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, these are like events that people come from miles and miles around for. But right in the smack middle of the pandemic, we couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. You're not going to conventions. You're not even going to movie theaters. So it was really cool to have this, online convention where they were releasing super exclusive at the time content, and we were all able to like watch it from home, but together. So I really thought they did a very good job in 2020 with the Fandome event, and they had an impressive lineup of things to introduce. Like you said, the Batman, I think, was the big standout, but the Suicide Squad stuff looked really good as well. And we got to see that movie finally, and it ended up being good. So I've got a lot of confidence that this upcoming Batman project is probably going to be pretty good, which is nice. As far as The Flash and Black Adam, these are two movies that they've been around, dude. And to Alex's point, like until we see it, it's very hard to commit to believing that it's a real thing. I feel like The Rock, I couldn't find it right off the bat, but I think he's been attached to Black Adam since 2016, give or take a little bit. I mean, this movie's been in production, various stages of production for an eternity now. And the same with The Flash. It's like they keep talking about it, and we're starting to finally see little bits of stuff from The Flash. And apparently Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson spending time in the gym now. News alert there, you know what I mean? Like, wow, right? The Rock's in the gym now, getting ready for Black Adam, but he's constantly in the gym getting ready for some role. So that's not a lot of information to go on. I feel like this particular event is kind of starting from a deficit because there's not a whole lot to give people right now because of the fact that they're not late stage production. And we got to see a little bit of them last year already. But that said, I'm extremely excited to see Michael Keaton return to the cowl. That's enough of a reason for me to be stoked about The Flash already. So it started out where the DCEU, helmed by Zack Snyder, was a bit of a clusterfuck. Every single time a new thing came out, there were issues. So because Black Adam and The Flash, they still got a little bit of the funk on them from that stage of DC's storied history. So those two I'm a little weary about, man, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and he's right. They still have somewhat of their little funk. I think I remember saying that James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is a step in the right direction if they allow their creators to create. And I think after the Snyder cut, I think I would assume, I don't know, but I would assume they're stepping away from the Snyderverse type of feel and stuff. So I would, and again, like to Jeremy's point, these movies were supposed to come out like what, 2-3 years ago?
A while ago, yeah.
And I remember when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was talking about Black Adam when he was promoting Hercules. You know how long that movie was? like that movie came out years ago.
No doubt. I feel like when you and I or when I started making videos, I think Dwayne Johnson was attached to Black Adam. It was with, like this is within a 6-month period. So it's been a very long time. I forgot about Hercules.
Yeah.
That probably says more about the movie than it does about my memory, but it's hard to say.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a forgettable movie. God, no one should watch Hercules. Like that was the year where I believe 2 Hercules movies came out back to back, and Dwayne Johnson was talking about working very closely with Warner Brothers about a Black Adam movie. And then it was supposed to come out, I believe, in 2018, and we didn't get it.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah, but what do you guys think? What are you guys excited for DC Fandome? It comes out October 16th. It's a free online event, so jump into the comment section below and let us know what you're excited for in that up and coming event. Now let's go ahead and jump into the next question. And the next question comes from a newcomer, Mr. Alan Brown. Thank you for submitting me a question, Mr. Allen.
Yes.
And he writes, hey guys, it looks like we're getting an Expendables 4 movie with 50 Cent and Megan Fox joining the cast. What do you think about this movie finally getting made? Well, thank you for your question, Alan. Okay, so to be completely honest with you guys, I think the Expendables are like dumb fun. Like they're on the same, I would say they're on the same insanity meter as the Fast and Furious franchise.
Sure.
Even though there's only 3 movies, and no one watches those movies strictly for the story, because there's really no story. All of them are mercenaries achieving an objective for money. That's essentially it. For the most part, some of their team gets captured, some of their team gets killed, and then like every movie is essentially the same. The third movie, which a lot of people criticize the third movie. I don't know why, but the third movie is essentially Barney, which is the main character, Steven's is it Seagal or Stallone? Yeah. Stallone.
Oh yeah. So that's just Stallone.
Yeah. So Sylvester Stallone. He essentially is worried about some of his older teammates because they're older. So he recruits a younger version of those people. Well, younger mercenaries to help achieve an objective. And come to find out, the older people they used to work with essentially do the job better and also assist with the objective that they're trying to achieve. But again, aside from that, majority of the films are essentially the same. I think Megan Fox and 50 Cent joining the cast would be, I guess, good if you want to classify it as dumb fun. You have to turn your brain off for those movies. But I'm not going to lie to you. I really do not care, to be honest with you. Like, I just say everything I just said. I really do not care. And it's because the movies are, like I said, are the same. You're going there to watch them fight, kill, chop off limbs, blow off heads. I mean, the first 2 movies were like blood and gore. The third movie was PG-13. So every time you see somebody get shot, they just got shot and a body part didn't fall off. That was essentially it. And, so me personally, I guess I would say I'm low-key interested to see where they take the story. I would hope they would make it rated R this time. But again, I don't really expect anything other than what we have already gotten. Jeremy, are you a fan of this franchise? And what do you think about the new additions to the movie? And are you excited for an Expendables 4?
Who asked the question?
Alan.
Alan, thank you very much for the question, my friend. Hopefully this isn't the point where you finish asking questions for the Ask Alex show, because we really do appreciate it. And it's fun every once in a while to be able to lean into the stuff that I don't necessarily care about. So first of all, I've never seen an Expendables movie. I can't speak to it.
Really?
Yeah. And look, if Stallone, Bruce Willis, Jet Li, Jason Statham, all these people aren't enough to get me in the door, you can bet your fucking bottom dollar that 50 Cent and Megan Fox aren't going to get me in the door either. It's starting to reek like one of those direct-to-video movies. Yes. You put Megan Fox in it, man, and you're already halfway there. You put Megan Fox and 50 Cent in it, and no shade to 50 Cent. If I do watch this movie, it'll be ironically to watch 50 Cent in it because I don't know. I like 50 Cent. I've always been a fan of Curtis Jackson's music, and I know he's got a really big career as an actor. It's like I mentioned, a lot of the 80s and 90s top action stars were in the Expendables, and then they started pulling like martial arts film stars. We got Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think, in one of them. We got Jet Li. So it's like they're bringing out all of the big guns. How do Curtis Jackson and Megan Fox fit into this? I don't know. I mean, I guess both of them have been in action movies, but 50 Cent's were more like crime movies than they were directly action movies. He's got Escape Plan, Den of Thieves. I guess Den of Thieves is definitely considered action, but most of his roles are not what I would consider like where he's a leading action star. So anyways, I got no real hate on this franchise. I just kind of felt like it was dead on arrival. All of those old action stars teaming up for one last go was a kind of cool idea, but then all of those old action stars teaming up for a second and a third last go, I'm good. I don't need all of that. Like, it was a cool premise to bring them all together once, but to build a franchise on the backs of so many elderly white men just doesn't seem like all that enticing to me.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I you know, it's funny. I've never seen an Expendables movie in theaters.
Oh, like, okay.
I've never seen it in theaters. I've always saw it either direct to on demand. When I lived in Pensacola, I red boxed all of them. And the red box in Pensacola, I mean, red box is essentially the same everywhere. It's like $2 or less.
Yes.
So, you know, am I really losing anything? Like, I'm not really losing anything. And again, like I said, like for that franchise in particular, there isn't really any death-defying things. I mean, Wesley Snipes is in the third movie, and they make like an inside joke because it's kind of based in his own reality. They break out Wesley Snipes out of jail because of tax evasion. Wesley Snipes went to jail for
That's
real.
what it is? Oh, wow. Okay, well, I take back the thing about old white men. At least they got a couple old black men in the movie, too. Is Terry Crews in it?
He was in the last. He was in all the three. I don't think he's in this one though because of I don't want to say legal reasons, but he said that he wasn't going to do Expendables 4 because how he got violated. I think a couple years back by one of the producers.
I told him I was sorry 2 times, dude.
Wow.
What are you gonna
do? Wow. But yes, I'm surprised you didn't die, Jeremy. but yeah, I don't think he's coming back. If he comes back, it's gonna be in a very small form. But again, like I mean, even when he was there, what aside from the insane action, what value did any of that movie bring? To be honest, that's why I said I kind of put it on the same pedestal in terms of insanity with the Fast and Furious franchise. They do a lot of insane shit that would never work in real life, in my opinion. That's just me. But thank you for your question, Alan. I hope that did not discourage you.
No, we love it.
For sending me that question. Now here comes another question from a returning guest, Mr. Lee Lewis. But before we get into that question, what did you guys think about Expendables 4? Jump into the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts. Now let's go ahead and jump into that question from Mr. Lee Lewis. Mr. Lee Lewis writes, hey guys, so out of all of the Spider-Man No Way Home rumors, which rumors do you think are true and which do you think are false? Thank you for taking my question. Well, thank you for your question, Lee. So it's funny, me and Jeremy were talking off camera about the trailer that we got about a couple weeks ago. I don't believe Doctor Strange is Mephisto. No. Like, so I made a separate video that I haven't put out yet about it, but I'm not so sure if I put it out because I guess I'll address it here. I don't ever see, at least in theaters or not really even Disney Plus, I don't see Mephisto ever entering the MCU because he is the same exact version of the devil, and the MCU has not gone down that route. And that's not to say that they will, that they won't, but Mephisto, why would Mephisto be there? Now, Mephisto was very a prevalent talking point in WandaVision because Mephisto has somewhat of a relationship to that character's being. But given the fact that we never got a hint of him at all, even though we thought we did, I don't see why would he be in this? And a lot of people keep pointing back to the comic book. Well, Peter did ask Mephisto to change the world by telling people, could you not allow the people to know that my secret identity is Peter Parker, because now I have a lot of issues after the Civil War comic book, which was a very accurate thing that happened in the comic books. But again, we have not seen a sign of Mephisto in anything that he could have potentially appeared in. And then also from a money making standpoint, Mephisto, his being in the MCU, I don't think it would translate well in other countries. So it's more specifically China, because when you're dealing with stuff like that, like a lot of horror movies are not played in China because a lot of people play on the little Satan type of thing. So I don't know if that would be a thing. I don't know. So Mephisto, I don't believe. I don't believe that James Franco is in this movie. He could be. And I also don't believe that Peter's secret identity is like safe. Like I'm sure that I'm sure that whatever that spell does not only just fucks up reality, but it fucks up everything, which we'll see by the end of the movie how it resolves that movie. The things that I do believe, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in this movie of some kind. I don't believe that they're in. I believe their screen time is limited to 20 minutes or less, in my opinion. Now, I don't think they will outshine Tom Holland. I was telling Jeremy off camera, that scene where Doc Ock's like, "Hello, Peter." I don't believe he's talking to Tom Holland. So I believe he's talking to Tobey Maguire in that vein. A rumor that I kind of do believe is that they're saying Sandman is in this movie because in the trailer there's a lot of sand forming amongst Peter or Spider-Man. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint. I'm just wondering how much of a callbacks they're going for this movie. And also, I do believe they're teasing the Sinister Six. And I guess it would make sense, the reason why you would have 3 Spider-Man to fight off 6 villains. But, in the comic book, Spider-Man can take on all 6 by himself. So I just don't know which 6 are going to be featured other than Doc Ock, some form of a Green Goblin, and then also Electro. So we know that those 3 are confirmed to be in the movie. As far as anybody else, there's 3 more characters that we have no idea who are going to be in this movie. So, Jeremy, with all the rumors that have come out about Spider-Man No Way Home, what do you think about what rumors do you believe are true, and what rumors do you think are just false?
Let's burn through some real quick. I've got a handy dandy list pulled up from MovieWeb, and then we'll touch on a couple of the other ones. Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Sinister Six come into the mix. Yes, I definitely think that's happening. We do get little shots that almost confirm that we've got Green Goblin, we've got Doc Ock, we've got Kirk Connors as the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man, we've got a little bit of a yellow lightning bolts that are Jamie Foxx as Electro, and we've got Sand, which is probably Sandman. So there's 5 of our Sinister Six, and then throw in like Vulture, Rhino. I mean, there's a couple that you could choose from. I'm not exactly sure who the 6 are, but Sony's been trying to squeeze the Sinister Six into a movie for an eternity now. This is their chance to do it. And because of the multiverse, they can either close the door and shut it all down so that in future movies, they never have to mess with it again, or they can leave those multiverse doors open. It gives them a lot of chances in this. The main villain will be Kraven. No way. No, that's a movie we wanted to see that we didn't see.
Exactly.
Doctor Strange is Mephisto. Hell no. Take Mephisto out of your butt, and let's move on to a different theory.
Yes.
Tired of hearing about Mephisto. And then, is it possible that Doctor Strange is a Skrull? I mean, possibly, but it wouldn't make sense that a Skrull would have the powers of Doctor Strange. That's why I don't understand how people are saying this theory is anybody other than Doctor Strange, because if it is, they're not the Sorcerer Supreme. They don't have the ability to do this thing. Is it possible that what broke the multiverse is Wanda searching for her kids? Sure.
Possible. Yeah, that's possible.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was going to say, it's to the Doctor Strange thing. The only person I believe who could be impersonating him is Chiwetel Ejiofor's character from the first Doctor Strange. Yeah, Mordo. Yes.
Interesting. That's the only one, bro. Oh, yeah, that's a good theory.
Yeah, that's the only one. A scroll can't do magic, so
yeah, Yeah, that's a good call though, man. What you just said, I didn't think about that. Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock. A lot of people talking about it. I think it's pretty far out. I don't necessarily see that as happening.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's just a lot. But then again, there's so much that how could I say if it is or not? Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin masterminds the whole operation. Who knows? It's hard to say, but I do think that there is going to be a redemption arc for either Sandman or Dr. Octopus, both which were kind of, sympathetic villains, if nothing else, by the end of their movies. I would see it more likely being Doc Ock. I think he's going to end up being a pivotal player, and that's why he ended up being showed in the teaser trailer. Obviously, it's a live action Spider-Verse, but I don't think we're going to see a Miles Morales unless it's in a post-credit scene. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but because they tease that, Aaron Davis is obviously in this universe with Donald Glover, so Miles Morales that's his uncle, but we don't see Miles Morales until like Peter's like in his 20s. Peter's still in high school. So if we see Miles Morales, is he in elementary school?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see the point in introducing him until Tom Holland is like in his 20s at that point. That's just how I see that.
So that's a couple of theories that we just now ran through. I'm sure there are more, and I'm sure the folks that are watching this can either let us know what theories are out there that we didn't cover or which of the theories they like the best. I would be curious to hear from everybody about that.
Yeah, I would be curious to know what your theories are. To Jeremy's point, the Daredevil stuff, or I believe, okay, Charlie Cox, no, I don't believe he's in this movie because he has said even as of recent, he has not done anything regarding Spider-Man. Now, that could be a lie. He could be telling the truth. Is Matt Murdock in this movie, like a different version of Daredevil? It is possible that Matt Murdock is in this movie, but Charlie Cox, nah. I don't really see it. Like, why would that? Because remember this, when that first came out, the first story that ran this, and it's going to shock you, the first story that ran that was We Got This Covered. Then later on, Screen Rant ran it, and I'm like, and then Fandom Wire ran it. So I was like, okay, this I don't believe is a thing that's going to happen. Now, if Daredevil's in this movie, it's not. I don't believe it's Charlie Cox. Then again, I could be wrong. But this Mephisto shit has to stop. Like, it does. It's just, oh my God, this has to stop. No, Doctor Strange is not Mephisto. But to our points earlier, if anybody's going to impersonate Doctor Strange, it's going to be Wong. Like, I mean, not Wong, sorry. Mordo, not Wong. Wong is leaving. But what do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below and let me know what your theories are about the theories you believe about the Spider-Man No Way Home. Fun fact, we have actually one more question. One more question I wanted to answer, and I kind of wanted to get Jeremy's take on it. This question comes from hold on, let me pull. Oh, Isaac James, one of my key co-workers. He writes, "Hey Alex, so it was just announced recently that Netflix has given Cobra Kai a season 5, even though we have not seen season 4. Now, if season 4 is not received well, will they still move forward with season 5?" Well, thank you for your question, Isaac. Well, maybe Jeremy would know more about this because I'm not so sure. I don't really know TV networks or streaming services that announce seasons ahead of a season that hasn't came out yet. I can't think of any shows that have done that. I'm sure I've seen some, like, I know, like, for instance, when you look at the Chicago Fire, Med, and PD, they announce their seasons ahead of time. So, like, for instance, like with Law and Order, we knew that they were going to get like an additional 2 extra seasons before they came out.
Right.
So those types of things have, I guess, legs because they've been on TV for so long. But something like Cobra Kai, if it's not received well, to your question, will they still move forward with a season 5? Well, they've already ordered the season, so I think legally they kind of have to. And I'm hoping. I mean, there's nothing from Cobra Kai that hasn't been trash. So I mean, I'm willing to bet they're really confident that season 4 is gonna fuck a lot of people up, and they're eager to watch season 5. I'm just curious to see when they're gonna be shooting season 5. Probably, if not by the end of this year, probably maybe early in the beginning of 2022. Jeremy, how do you feel about Netflix greenlighting a season 5, even though we have not seen season 4 yet?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And a lot of times I just have to fall back on the fact that I haven't seen the contract. So I really don't know what they signed as far as stipulations go. There could have been a clause in the Netflix contract that was like, we're greenlighting season 5 unless season 4 doesn't cross this viewership threshold, at which they would probably set to be on par with what they expected it to view. They wouldn't set it astronomically so that it would fall short. They would say, we expect about 60 million streams in the first week or whatever, and if it gets anywhere near that ballpark, they'll move ahead. If it falls substantially below it, and that might even be in the clause as well, if it falls 30% short of what our estimated viewership should be, then we're going to can it for the next season. However, Alex, you're right. Like, this has been a very popular show. And to be honest with you, oftentimes quality doesn't necessarily matter as much as popularity. I mean, look how many Transformers movies we have, for God's sakes. It's like, if it continues to make money, it continues to be have cultural cachet, and you can tweet about it and use hashtags and all that stuff, they'll continue to make them. And I think Cobra Kai is a really good series, so I don't see it having an issue. They always end on these really good cliffhangers to where even if everything that happened in the season wasn't perfect, by the end of it, you still got to know what's going to happen next. And they've done that very effectively for 3 seasons now. So I have a feeling this show is going to have longevity. However, I look at a show like Stranger Things, which had a lot of the same hype behind it, a lot of similar crossover audiences. It's 80s nostalgia, plus younger people like it. And so it hits a lot of the marks that Stranger Things did. And Stranger Things was like huge, but I have a feeling like interest has kind of waned. So the Duffer Brothers were smart enough to say, hey, we're doing 1 more season and then we're shutting it down. Whereas you look at like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they just now signed a contract to make, a dozen movies, 14 movies, and X amount of new seasons of South Park. And with Matt Groening, it was the same thing. We're giving you 5 more seasons of The Simpsons, and then we'll talk about renewing at the end of this contract, which speaks to your point. Network television series, they become an institution. People tune in for them week after week. It just kind of becomes like viewing habits. And so I do think that they're going to go ahead and finish both seasons of them, and there's not going to be any question about whether or not they jump into a season 5. I would also say, and obviously the actors' salaries is what's going to cost the most for a show like this, because there isn't VFX, there isn't even really like prosthetics. There's a bit of stunt work in it, but it seems like a relatively cheap show to produce. It's not like they're having to spend a year in post-production afterwards. So even if they shot season 5 and weren't able to roll it out, I don't think it would cost them too terribly much. So I see them just continuing on the course, and we'll probably get at least 5 seasons of Cobra Kai when it's said and done.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I didn't even think about it, because Cobra Kai is essentially a very cheap show. Like, all the actors, well, I can't say all the actors do their own stunts, because I'm sure, like, I mean, and you can just pay attention, especially in the first season where they replace with their stunt doubles.
Oh yeah,
especially the people who are getting beat up. But you know, Jeremy's right. There isn't any mystical or supernatural elements in that
Right.
show. So a lot of it's point and shoot. And then it's like a lot of you stand here, you do this. And like, it's, I mean, again, like making making a Cobra Kai show, most of their money is spent on their talent, I would assume. I mean, that's what I would think. And to his point, he's right. When you look at like stuff like The Simpsons and South Park, those shows have been on like when my parents were kids. So
Yeah.
the notion that you know, that they probably won't, you know, well, I mean, depending on how season 4 is received, will they move forward? I genuinely believe they will move forward, because Netflix it's not really costing Netflix anything, to be honest, since they're $1 billion company.
Yes.
So I'm interested to see it. And again, like you know, Cobra Kai is not trash, so everything that they've put out has been amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be though where it's like The Simpsons, where it just gets just drawn out for no reason. Like, that's how I feel about that. But
yes.
what do you guys think about Cobra Kai getting a green light for season 5? Just jump into the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Ask Alex Show. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you get all the updates of every time I'm releasing a video here on Momentum Media. Jeremy, where can we find you on social media?
Check out Jeremy Be Terrible on both Twitter and Instagram. And then also Movies Are Terrible right here on YouTube. There's a lot of exciting content coming out over the next couple of weeks as we approach spooky season. So y'all make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date with all of the terrible content. Alex, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, anytime, man. And you know where to find us here at Momentum Media. Please like, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a blessed day.